Good evening. Welcome to our reorganization meeting for the Newburg School District for our April 18th, 2023. We have a quorum. Mrs. Millfield is not here for this part of it. Okay. We need to approve the agenda for our, just for the reorganization part. So we have a motion to approve the agenda. Mr. Brookshire, Mr. Shushank, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. We need to approve the election results.
Okay. Mrs. Wells, go ahead.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Mrs. Wells had 128, Thompson 167, Smith 151, Rosa 120, and there was one write-in in Pulaski County. So Wells, Thompson, and Smith.
Okay. Any questions?
It's like a law firm.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
It's pretty well.
I wish I had lawyers' money.
Yeah. Motion to approve the election results.
Motion.
Mr. Birdsong, second Mr. Shushank. Any further discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All those in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Okay, it's your turn, Annie.
Oh, yay.
Oath of office. Where you want to do that?
Right here in the middle.
Let's go in the front.
Tables are turned, buddy. Tables are turned.
Yeah, if you guys just want to redo it at once, or you guys want to do it separately?
All one's good.
Okay.
Hey, just make sure when she says, your name, don't say your name.
I get it.
Oh, wait, you're not supposed to do that?
Guess what? We don't say, I don't have that anymore.
Oh, okay. Because I heard people do that, and I was like, no.
No, I took that down. I got a different one, so. All right, raise your hand. Right here. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
and impartially discharge
and impartially discharge
the duties of school director
the duties of school director
in and for the Newburg School District
in and for the Newburg School District
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
according to the law.
according to the law.
Congratulations.
Yay, congratulations.
Print and sign.
You should have known that already. Josh, you just did it.
Yes, please, if you don't mind. I've got you on the list, but it's nice to have it on there.
I wasn't here.
Thank you guys, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, that was, he was doing 1 year.
I'm moving.
Right up here.
I'm moving.
Remember this, you wanted this seat. And a year I'll ask you how you made it like that. Okay, Miss Amy, you're still on.
Okay. Sorry, I had to write that down.
Yep.
A lot of writing tonight.
A little bit. Okay, this is for the president election. The first election this evening will be for the office of president of the board. Nominations are now open for president.
I nominate Doug Smith.
Doug Smith is nominated. Are there any other nominations?
I nominate Adam.
Okay, Mr. Birdsong is nominated. Are there any other nominations? Hearing no further nominations, nominations are closed. We will now proceed to the election.
After a moment, your response.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, it says the candidates for president are Smith and Birdsong. This election will be conducted by roll call. We will first vote on the first person nominated, who was Mr. Smith. So, let's see. If you're in favor of Mr. Smith, please respond with a yes. Mr. Brookshire?
Yes.
Mr. Guffey?
Yes.
Mr. Birdsong?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
No.
Ms. Wells?
You're gonna have to get louder than that.
Yes.
Mr. Shoeshane?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
I will abstain.
Okay. So it's 5-1 and one abstain. We will call the roll call vote for Mr. Birdsong. Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Wells?
No.
I don't think we do, but
You have to.
Yeah, we can say.
You can stop
I
that.
was going to say, I didn't think we did have to once we have one, right? Majority. Okay. So, Mr. Smith is now your board president. And I'll turn it over to him.
Okay, we'll move to vice president. Our nominations are open for vice president.
Nominate Adam.
Any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, we'll close nominations. And here's how Adam is our only nominated individual. That would be, Adam would be our person
Win by
select
default.
for.
You know, at least it's a
Do
win.
we need to nominate a vote? So, congratulations. Good. Good. For secretary of the board, nominations for, we have Amy.
I make a motion nomination cease.
Motion for nominations to cease. Any, there's a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Further, all those in favor? Motion carries. 6-0.
No chance, Amy.
Amy now is our board secretary. And we are now open nominations for treasurer.
Let's be 7-0.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 7-0.
Now we're back to full
We're
count.
back to full count? Sorry, thank you.
We have
I was
now.
lost for a minute.
That look at you gave me.
Didn't know.
Dusty is person.
I make a motion for Dusty Shoeshake.
Nomination for Dusty.
Our nomination.
Second.
Hang on, we just nominated.
You just nominated.
He said motion.
I know he did.
I had to rephrase.
Any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations will cease for treasurer, and Dusty will be our treasurer for 23-24. Right?
Solid.
Be all different last year. It worked, I guess.
Okay. All right.
Bank signers do not need to change because you guys
We're
are
all
all the
set.
same.
That worked out really well for that part, I'm going to the bank.
Yeah.
Doing that. And just so you know, we are all the officers of the board are able to sign checks. If we get in the bind, we need somebody to sign. One of us then is then authorized to sign so they can have a live signature. Okay, so that's why that we do all of this.
You should stop.
You should just do
I say,
two.
yeah,
You have
my
to.
board work, it's just the president, vice president.
Yeah. So we changed that a couple years ago just so that that would be available if we went into a bind. Because we had a bind at one time. Needed, couldn't. Need a motion to adjourn our reorganization meeting. Motion by Mr.
Second.
Guffey, second Mr. Thompson.
Nothing matters.
Oh, okay. Was it Matt?
I don't care.
Okay. Now it's just to be, I heard Mr. Guffey, you probably didn't even say a word. So, any further discussion? If not, raise your hand if you agree. Motion, you vote?
I made a motion, that's pretty,
No, you can vote against your own motion. 7-0. We are adjourned for that part. Anybody need a break?
We made it.
Are we good?
I can make it through this one.
Maybe.
I can make it. It's gonna be tight. We had a good game going there.
Actually, they were playing. I mean, the score didn't represent how good, but they were actually playing very well.
Still on? Ms. Constance? Okay. We now will begin our open session, our regular session board meeting for Newburg R2 School District for April the 18th. And if you'll join me for a pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got off kilter on that one. He went one normal.
We do have full board. All members are present, so we have a quorum. We need approval of the agenda as it's written. I would like to make one change, if we could, to the lineup for action items. If we could move the OPA presentation to A and just go down from there and let them present first so they can decide to stay or not stay. It's up to them. No, they're not waiting through the whole time.
I'll make a motion to approve with those changes.
Okay.
Josh, a second.
Motion, Mr. Birdsall, second, Mr. Thompson, to approve the agenda with the change from moving D to A on the action items. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. We have no one for public comment, correct? That changed.
Not now, yes, that's correct.
Yes, I mean, but
We had a representative that was gonna be here but couldn't make it, so we're gonna put them on next month.
I understand. We're ready to look for our consent agenda items. On our consent agenda is the approval of the minutes from our March meeting and also our monthly financial statement. That's what you're approving on this section.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion, Mr. Birdsall.
Second.
Second, Mr. Brookshire. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. Approval of the bills. Any questions on the bills?
What is Alert 360?
That is our alarm company.
I thought so, but I was like, that seems awful cheap.
But they're the go-between, I guess I should say. They're the ones that services our system, but so the security is actually done through, Mr. Shaw, help me out.
That's what I just had blank.
There are people that
They're-
call
they're-
911.
gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Okay.
I thought it seemed kind of cheap for $67. So
Yes,
that's why I
yes,
was asking.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion, Mr. Birdsall, to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Thompson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. Ready for administrative reports? I think I had you go first last time, Mr. Talent. So I think it's Mr. Clark's turn.
Elementary professional development, the elementary ELA teachers finished their year working with the Missouri Reading Initiative this week. Casey Mitchell was here for the PD day and again today. They'll pick up again in the fall. We have Pathways to Reading returning one more time to conclude professional development on Pathways to Reading training. Miss Spavo, Kreider, Stevens, and Miller completed letters volume 1, including the online portions, and they got their certificates. And that's all provided for with the grant. We have our summer Pathways training dates for our new teachers, so we'll be scheduling that this week and next. We had our family engagement Easter night and had a great turnout with the Easter egg hunt and a lot of activities for students and their families. And the third graders had their musical called Off Their Rockers at the Lyric Theater. It was a lot of fun. A lot of them were dressed up as old people, and they had lots of lines where they would make jokes with the audience, so it was pretty neat.
Good. The high school has been extremely busy, as you can imagine, as we are going and finishing up fourth quarter. So I have a lot here, but I'm going to go through as fast as I can. Newburg, FFA has had a very busy spring with their CDEs and LDEs. We are also very excited to announce that the history has been made, and 2 CDE teams have earned spots to compete at the state contest. That's actually this week, and those teams are forestry, Eli, who ranked 3rd high individual districts, Cora, and Trey. Our agronomy team includes Braden Hammock, Brianna Oliver, Cooper Weiss, and Canyon Moreland. We will also recognize our first state record book qualifier, Maddie Mason, as her beginning ownership record book will be on display with 16 others at the state convention, and she will earn a gold state pin for her jacket. And of course, as mentioned earlier, Eli and Gabby will be taking the stage Friday night for their FFA state degrees, making them the first 2 in the FFA chapter. And then the chapter also wanted me to extend an invitation to all of you tonight that the annual banquet is Friday, May 5th. Dinner is at 6. Ceremony starts at 7. Our math department is going to be taking some students to our Frisco League math contest, which is this coming Monday. Crocker is hosting it. Ms. Buffington has 6 finalists in the Youth Tour Essay Contest, sponsored by Gas Osage Rural Electric Co-op. Gracie Campbell, Charlotte Rise, Angelina Ross, Isaac Russell, Mary Rose, and Taylor Brookshire are those 6 finalists.
I'm not sitting in anyone's seat, am I?
Ms. Duffy and Ms. Perry worked very hard to make sure Newburg had an amazing reputation at the Frisco League Art Show that took place last week at Licking. Middle school and high school won first place overall. And at the middle school level, Lainey Gottman, she won Best of Division for Black and White Drawing. Piper Burton, Computer Design. Eva Shearer, Color Drawing and Printmaking. McKenna Shushank was in Painting. Then Abigail Lewis had Large Scale Sculpture, Illustration, and Small Scale Sculpture. High School Best of Division, Nikki Marler had Large Scale. Jessica Birdsong had Small Scale. Caden Sprinkley had Non-Traditional. Arby Oliver had Fibers. Callie Harris had Printmaking, and Gracie Campbell had Colored Portrait. And then for the on-site drawing, Allison Logan, Still Life Concept, she took 3rd, and Eva Scher took Best of the Division, and Kinley Hammock took 3rd place in the Still Life. High school on-site drawing, Callie had Still Life Design, she took 3rd. Rebecca Rosa took 2nd. Gracie Campbell took 1st. Cora Twyman took 1st in Still Life as well. Jerica Geller had 2nd place in Live Model. Mary Rosa had Best of Division, and Hallie Roach had Live Model Design Concept and Best of Division. Theater is preparing for their last show performance. It's May 22nd, 23rd, and 25th. Band is getting ready to go to Branson for a band festival for high school and junior high to play and compete. Beta is hosting a 3-on-3 basketball tournament this Saturday as a fundraiser to help pay for their national convention. Yearbooks are still on sale. Sale ends 4/28/23, so the last Friday of this month. And then Ms. Caffey and myself, Mr. Clark, and Ms. Adams have been working on the map and EOC window. It's for all kids 3 through 8, and then of course in the high school we have 4 tested subjects. And that will be the first 2 weeks of May. That window will be May 2nd to May 12th. And then from our athletics, Senior night for baseball was last week, the 13th. Seemed to have a very good turnout at that. Had a good showing. There's just a few more games left, and only one of those is a home game. And then track is, Newburg is hosting Frisco League track tomorrow at the Waynesville Sports Complex. And Mr. Herdade and Miss Ayers wanted to let you guys know that 2 school track records were broken. The high school girls 800-meter run was broken by Kayla Kaplan, and the junior high school boys 4x100 meter relay broken by Colt Steffi, Nate Killian, Jay Steyer, and Jesse Gates. Got a lot going on.
Yeah. Good stuff. Any questions for the principals? Okay. Mr. Shaw?
I'm going to brag on one of Mr. Towns' kiddos. Cora went to our superintendent's meeting today, the South Central Madison meeting, and she received a scholarship from, it was a scholarship in partner, mayor and ed council did a partnership, and she was awarded a scholarship today, so very good. I believe it was a $500 scholarship, and if they have I call it a continuation incentive, but at 60 hours, she can reapply, and that scholarship goes up to $1,000. So, and that was for students that are going to go into education. So we had 2 early childhood and 1 math teacher, not all together from different schools, but ours was 4. So excited about that. We also had received the mental health grant, responsive services grant through DESE, and that is going to work out to just a little over $26,000 for us that we'll be able to use for mental health resources for our students and our counselors. And then we have not been awarded yet, but we have applied for the school safety grant, and if awarded, that will work out to about $100,000 for our district to use for safety resources. So those are a couple things that are in the works at the moment. And then the other I have is for you guys from MSBA. They had wanted to give you guys a certificate, and I have to apologize to Mr. Wells. Maybe they don't have one for you yet. So, but March is the governor recognized March as School Board Appreciation Month, and so MSBA had sent you guys a certificate of appreciation for serving on the board. So.
How we looking on our class schedule?
Our master schedule, it's been rolling on through. We've worked about 50 scenarios and real students through that schedule.
Okay, everything looking pretty good. Are we able to mix some of the stuff we had real heavy in the afternoon on core and move some of that to the first part of the day?
Our biggest advantage was this current school year schedule had core classes competing with electives, and so one of our solutions that we came up with was just have our core classes compete with core classes. And so when they only had them offered twice, it was either 1 hour or the next hour, basically. And so that has helped a lot with evening out the loads.
Good.
For those of you who are new board members, MSBA also sent out their training schedule for new board member orientation if you are interested in that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I knew you were.
I was
really
just
wanted to.
saying, I remember watching that last time.
That's what you were wanting to do, wasn't it?
Part of it. This week we- Any questions, Mr. Shaw? Any other questions for the principals? No? Thank you. You're getting close to the end.
We are.
No, you're within
I think
25 days?
our
20
Wolf
days?
News says
less than that.
24, 23 school days left.
Yeah.
They've got the countdown going.
Some of those will be testing, so that, the pressure of testing's still there, so yay.
One of the students knows exactly how many it is. I can't remember who it was in the hall, but they talked to me and I said something to the effect of, we've got about a month left of school. No, we don't. We have 23 days, or whatever they do, right down to the.
Not a month.
When they start counting hours, then you know
Yeah.
when they're serious.
We'll move on to our next item, which is updates on facility projects. You want to give us an update on where we are on some of those?
The electricians were back this week and did some finished work in the ag building, where the painting and the sheetrock has been completed. They completed their finished work. We have to do a little bit of metal work on the ceiling, where some of the vent holes that were cut from the original structure, we'll have to repair those so we can put lights in there. But that's the only thing that really is holding up the electricians in that part of the building, and working on getting flooring for that. So
For the new part?
for the new part, yeah. And
But the electricians are down in the classroom part, right?
when you said are you meaning the shop?
No,
No,
the classroom.
The remodel.
The remodel.
yeah. Other than that metal ceiling in there, there's some other than the lights, they're done in
I
there.
understand,
Yeah.
okay. Are they done in the shop as well?
Right now, we're waiting on things to come in, of what they have to finish. So we have
Machines?
Machines, yeah, and we have machines, door openers, and the metal work were the three that when I met with them yesterday that they were waiting on. So we got some of those on order, and they even said that some of the things that if we know what the specs are, we get the specs on those machines, they can go ahead and have it ready. So when the machine gets here, it's ready to go. So we can, some of those will be, that'll limit some of that time that way.
The machines will be here.
They got all kinds of everything ran where.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what I thought.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
since
just a
it's-
matter of putting breakers that are required for the machine, pretty much. Everything's ran, it's just a matter of
Yeah.
finishing out.
There's just, for example, one of the things that we realized we're going to need an exhaust fan over those welding booths, and find one to fit. What we'd like to do is find one to fit one of those existing holes. Yeah, and so that's just an example. Once that exhaust fan's in, they just got to drop it out of the conduit down to the fan. That's the way most of the machines work. So it's ready to go.
That's our last project at the moment that we have, that we're finishing up, right?
Correct. Other than the doors, we still are waiting on a couple of things with the doors.
Are they all put in?
The doors are installed. The physical doors are.
Okay.
St. Robert glass installation, there was a wire that was cut
I don't remember you saying that.
needed to be for the key fob, and so the door is in, but they have to repair that wire so that the key fob will work. And
Which door is that?
that's the breezeway,
Okay.
the new breezeway by the annex.
Okay.
And then there's
The new breezeway.
the new breezeway, yeah.
Yeah.
Then the
That one door in
The new ag?
yes, there'll be one. Yeah, once
That's the end.
once that end, yeah,
On the roadside.
This side.
yeah, it has to be installed.
With the location, I just checked the location is correct.
It'd be good. So we go ahead and have it put in then.
We've got some plans located.
Nice.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could go ahead and have that door installed. Okay. There's one other thing I was going to say. Oh, the back door to the old gym. There was, Ms. Constance, you may have to help me with this. The network didn't
It
mesh.
needs to get online. So they either have to run a cable to the other side of the gym or they have to mesh a couple access points. But when they tried meshing access points weren't cooperating, so they might have to draw a line. And then there's a latch on the breezeway door, the new breezeway door to the parking lot that needs to be installed for that one to work.
So we're close.
Yeah, we're right there. We're just,
So, how much are these doors? What do they run a piece, do you remember? Quite a bit, pretty high.
quite a bit, yeah. I mean, depending on which one it was, it's 10,000.
10,000.
If we keep using the weight up there at the new gym for the door stop, like we did with the old jump door, you just will order another one to replace it here pretty shortly, because it just destroyed it. So I don't know what we need to do there, but. Can they be set to be unlocked throughout track practice and stuff like that?
Yeah, all of those electronic, all the key fob doors can be programmed electronically.
Because it's working on it already. So, fine.
Yeah. And that's one too that has the center, the jam,
Mhm.
where it attaches. Carl's constantly having to
Yeah, it's loose.
work on that. It keeps getting loose, yeah, so it might be something one.
From slamming into the weight at the bottom, I'm about positive.
Yeah.
Something to address there.
Yes.
Well,
Put a sign
Need to
off.
figure out a new
Yeah.
system.
A lot of money, yeah.
Doors aren't $200 anymore.
No.
No, that's,
Not those.
We could probably program it pretty easy though for school time. Make it work for track and all that, generally after hours.
yeah.
Sure you can figure something.
Okay. Tree removal?
Those, we had talked about those bids, but we hadn't had an official submitted along those. So if we want to pursue that, these are the two bids that we have at this time. One was 6,000, right, and the other one was just a little bit under that.
58.
Yeah.
53, was it 53?
I was gonna say 54.
53.
53.
What, who's Kenny?
That was the name of the contact for A1.
I just didn't have a company
Yeah,
name right
yeah,
now.
sorry, that was,
Kenny
I didn't know if that was Kenny off South Park. If we wanted
His name's Kenny Gromwald, I know him.
Who?
Kenny Gromwald.
We know who feels Kenny, big sycamore.
and we don't, I mean, that's, we can,
It's just a ton of
we
money.
can wait on that, or we can decide to go with one of these that, we just hadn't talked about it officially yet, so.
Well, we got a good guy that knows how to cut up a tree. Pretty close around here, but
He's shaking his head no for some reason.
It's a little more than his lateral reach, he says.
well, it's only because he's 5'2".
He needs a bigger ladder.
Put that up there with
You
him.
don't have a bucket, you don't have a bucket truck yet?
No, he says.
What's your thoughts? Do you want to wait? Want to move? Tree's not going anywhere,
No.
but it does need to go somewhere at some point.
Bill, he didn't get back with me in time, but that's the only other person. There's being in tree service, we can see that.
We can wait a month, it's not a big deal.
And as far as removal for using that, until we get some of those services terminated,
Yeah.
we're not gonna be able to do anything out there anyway.
I stuck up a little while,
Yeah.
so we can wait a little bit. Are we okay? Wait till we get-
You talking about more
People look at it? No,
Talking about building more.
I just want to be here when you do.
He's doing that, isn't he?
I just want to watch.
Just watch it.
I want to watch.
Yeah.
That's going to be a.
You'll have to set the ball field to watch it, but.
Be a
We
project.
have to make sure we get their insurance and check everything
Yes.
prior. 'Cause
That's it.
And you'll have.
It's gonna be a job.
There's
There's no doubt.
It's
You
involved.
know, if it was from somewhere here in Houston, they all would have file, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's table that till next month. Action items. We have a presentation from our Oprah representative. We had some questions and some thoughts on our meals, and now is a good time to discuss those. And sir, I'm sorry, I'll need to get your name.
Sure. So yes, I'm Ryan Murphy. I'm a regional director for OPA Food Management.
Ryan Murphy?
Ryan Murphy, yes, sir. This is Elizabeth Prater. She's a senior director, and we've both worked for OPA for about 5 years. So I've helped oversee Newburg for let's see, a year and a half now, I believe, and then she was a part of that process too. Before that, I was a previous regional director, and I was in Waynesville myself. So Dr. Shaw had reached out, and he said that the board had questions, so we're here to answer any questions that you guys might have. I'll start off with just saying kind of a recap of August through now as far as our numbers go. Last year, we all know meals were free, so we, of course, had a higher participation. But for breakfast, we're down 17 meals per day compared to last year. So last year, we were doing 131 meals a day for breakfast. Currently, we're doing 110. So that puts us 17 down a day. Lunch, with after-school program that we have implemented, the CACFP program, we're actually up 71%. So last year was 227. Now we're doing 326 with that snack, which is tied into that number. So combined meals, breakfast, lunch, and CACFP. Last year we were doing 369 a day. Now we're doing 436, which is up 35% as of right now. So that's where we're at as far as participation goes and how kids are eating breakfast, lunch, and snack.
Can you explain that snack?
How does that compare with lunch-to-lunch numbers?
Yeah, so lunch to lunch numbers, last year you guys were doing 227. If you take that snack out, we're probably down, it looks like probably about 22 meals a day, roughly, without the snack.
And that's district?
That's district-wide, yes, sir. Correct. A couple other things, coming out of COVID, that was really hard for every food service, whether it's self-op or food service department, but OPA really believes in our options. I know Rachel has been offering 3 options every day. I was just here last week checking up on her, and it looked like they were offering a great salad bar, and then a hot and a cold option or 2 hot options every single day is the minimum of what we want to be doing in all of our school districts, and I believe that we are doing that here. So at this time, I'll take any questions that you guys might have for us.
Who's in charge of quality control?
So quality control at every location is definitely going to be the director first. So the director, basically, they're the GM of the location, right? Which here is going to be Rachel. The next step would be if we were having issues and that quality control wasn't meshing, then the superintendent or anyone else can reach out, which would be me, the regional director. I would come in, do an investigation, we'd go from there. We do periodic checks. Like I said, I was in here last week. I've been to Newburg, I think, 3 to 4 times this year. So then I'll do what OPA has an RDO checklist where we go, we take pictures, we do all these things. It's about 50 questions every single time we visit. And then also, for quality control too, we have every single school district in our entire company, which is about 320 school districts at this time, and every director has to take pictures of every option they served that day, and we upload those so we have images of what was actually served and prepared to those kids before it goes out to those kids. So that's something Rachel does. We have pictures of every single day that we've served that she's uploaded for the course of this entire school year.
Is that a announced visit or is it a random?
Sometimes it is announced, but sometimes it's random as well. So I will say, like the last week when I came, she knew I was coming. There was a program we were working on, and everything, like I said, did look great when I was here, but it's not always random, no, sir.
Is it possible that a picture could be taken of what they're serving to be set up to look like what they're serving, but that's not what they're getting?
Most of the time, not likely. I have seen in other school districts where and we've seen this problem with social media pop up in the last 2-3 years when we've been taking these pictures, that some students will get trays, they'll alter their trays, and they'll report that to their parents. And we've seen those issues, but no, typically we have not had, in 320 school districts, that's not been a huge issue of our directors altering that before. And I do know Rachel does a Facebook page for Newburg too. I don't know if any of you guys are members of that. If not, I encourage you to follow that. But she is uploading those pictures to that Facebook for the community as well.
You said great multiple times. I'm just going to cut the ice. I would say great is nothing that needs to be talked about on the food service down there.
Okay. Cool. Is there maybe a certain situation where there's a certain
Every day.
problem that we're
Every day.
having?
I feel open needs to be part of my phone bill from the complaints I get out of the community about what's getting served to our kids.
Okay.
I mean,
What kind of
portion sizes?
Portion sizes. So we did bring a whole bunch of documentation. That has been a common trend, and sometimes that's very typical. So Open has not come up with the portion size. The USDA and the state guidelines, DESI comes up with the portion sizes. We have a packet for you, and we are more than welcome to give each one of you one of those packets that breaks down breakfast, lunch, that after school, and everything, the components that are required, and how much we can serve them. So we can't serve them more than what's required because we have to track their caloric intake on a daily level, a weekly level, their sodium intake, and their sugar intake on a daily and a weekly level as well.
Now,
And everything from like, even if you see them like with an Eggo's waffle package, right? That's still not the same product that you're going to get at the grocery store. It's altered and made just for school service. So it's going to be whole grain. So it's going to be brown. It's not going to taste the same as you're going to get from Walmart. The syrup, everything is less sugar, less sodium, and it's all pre-portioned to state and federal guidelines.
So I was here when we brought Open on.
Sure,
So I've seen you at your best.
sure.
It's far, far, far from where you started.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I apologize for that, and this is the first I'm hearing of this, so I'm more than welcome to work with Rachel and come back.
We've been trying for, how long have we been trying? We've been trying for months to get some communication down, but I don't know where that breakup is, but
Sure.
this.
I think our biggest concern is who sets the menus? And I know you probably set the menu for the week, for the
Right.
month. And you've got to fit all this sodium and sugar, and I get all that, I understand all that.
Mhm.
But, so,
Yeah, so OPA sets,
is that menu open for discussion? Or is this is the menu and this is what you get to serve?
so OPA makes a corporate menu, and we have a nutritionist who follows those guidelines, just like you
I
said.
understand.
But there are options that the director can choose to alter that menu based on what the kids in that district likes. So there are, like, there could be 3 to 6 choices, and the director would pick 3 of those options and then ride with those options based on what the kids in their district likes. And we do like to give the directors a little bit of leeway between those options because, you know, what Waynesville likes isn't going to be the same thing as Newburg or
So
Newburg
there
is
is some
Cambridge.
option there for us to change up that menu on a weekly basis.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that is definitely something that there is wiggle room to make alters. Like, for instance, if it's
Do you
chicken,
know if we do that?
I do know that Rachel does alter the menu. She said it like she did when I visited, said that she'd been altering meatloaf and chicken patty and stuff like that because the kids were wanting some alteration. She said she did have a conversation with Dr. Shaw about that, and then she had started altering the menu along those lines. But that is something that, you know, anytime you guys want to have us, I'm more than welcome to bring you copies of the menus. Those are things we can do, or choices we can do. We also do this great thing, it's called a NAC meeting, and that's an opportunity for our director to work with the school district and the administration to pull in students from your school and actually let them vote on the menu and those items to get their direct input on what they actually want to see on that menu themselves.
I'm sorry, what did you call that?
It's called a NAC meeting, NAC meeting.
Nutritional Advisory Council, basically, is the state term for it.
I just think there needs to be a lot of discussion of how we can help our students feel better about what they're eating.
On our portion sizes, should there be a difference between what elementary portions are considered to high school portions?
There is, yes, there
Is
is.
it noticeable?
Depending on the meal, though, too.
Yeah, it is depending on the meal. So for instance, like if it's a chicken patty day with a half cup of mashed potatoes, no, that meal's gonna look the exact same. But when you're talking about fruits and vegetables and stuff, yes, that does change. Like the serving size for apples or oranges or carrots is going to go up from a quarter cup to a half cup or offered a whole cup based on their age group. But like the cheeseburger, chicken patty, the amount of chicken strips, chicken
Yeah.
nuggets, that stuff is gonna stay the same.
You bet, yeah.
Pasta does alter too from a smaller portion to a larger portion if it's a pasta dish. So I think that's usually a hit at high school levels because it's more food. It fills them up a lot more than just maybe a chicken patty. Now, he has talked about meeting these requirements, but we would never stop someone from purchasing a second meal also. I have a middle school child who would eat me out of my house every day. And so I have to allow him to buy those second meals. So there is always that option, but I know not all families can afford that either.
You bet, yeah.
Do you anticipate there being any more food shortages? I know there was a stretch there where it was just hard to get some things. Is that Do you foresee that being?
Yeah, so last year, that was a huge challenge for the entire country. We're pretty much past that part. There's going to be some substitutions where they run low, but we're pretty past that right now. It's just inflation mainly that we're dealing with, but we can pretty much get all of our normal product back.
What's the leftover and reuse policy?
So OPA and every food service management company pretty much has the same policy. There are certain items that you can use for leftover, like things off the salad bar, fruits and vegetables and things like that. But we are never able to reheat anything more than one time. So like if it's a certain type of meat product, we could save that meat product, but then we would not be able to reheat it more than one time. But there are a lot of
hot dog. How many times can a hot dog be
Zero.
reheated?
0 times. So like a hot dog cannot be reheated and used. It's all depending on what product we're talking about. It's very specific.
So products that could be reheated
How
would
do we
be
get
like
that-
chilies.
How do we get the list of what you can be reheated?
We can send
Yeah,
it.
we could definitely provide that list to Dr. Shaw.
And it would be like chili, spaghetti sauce, it's product like that. Like say a chicken patty was cooked, we're not going to reheat that. Possibly it could be diced up and used on a salad bar,
Sure.
but we would not reheat a product like that would dry out too much. And the same thing would happen with the hot dog. We're not gonna put it on your salad bar, because that would be weird, but we're not gonna reheat that
Yeah,
either.
I've never saw one.
Because it would dry out too much.
And the director is aware of all these rules and policies.
Yes, they are, and if there are issues, I'm glad. Like I said, I'm happy to be here because some of these I haven't heard these concerns before. So I'm glad you guys are bringing these up, and it's definitely something that we'll address for sure.
So a school director, do they spend 90% of their time in the office?
No, they do not. So it all depends on the size of the school district, but in none of our districts should a director be spending 90% of their time in the office. It is especially in a district this small. There's no kitchen manager, so it's a working director role, and that is the job of that director.
You might want to talk about that.
Deep freezing hot dog that's been cooked.
Yeah.
No chili that's been in.
I think we have some issues, and we need to discuss that, and we have to be careful where we want to discuss that at. This
Sure.
public meeting is probably not quite the place to do some of that. As far as what the limitations are, yes, that's all information. Just be careful on
Sure.
other things, but I think we have some issues, and when's a good time for, I mean, I think you'll need to get with Mr. Shaw and
Sure.
work out when you
Closed door.
can discuss some real concerns and hear them for the second time,
Sure.
okay?
Yeah, be more than
The
happy
first time
to.
that we didn't get to all of them,
Sure.
okay?
What's that availability? When can that happen?
I can make that happen next week for sure. I will email Dr. Shaw right after this, and I'll get with him and we'll set something up.
Did you get your number? I just want to know. It's wonderful.
It's me. Okay, tell the doctor.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Shaw.
That's all right.
He says it's
No,
not.
now you made it
It's all good.
So you got some great concerns, and anything that you guys can do to turn this around 100% would be, I mean, for me, I mean, I would not be on board on putting OPA back in our kitchen after this year. I mean,
Okay.
if you're interested in our business, I would suggest figuring out a way to keep it.
Well, we value your business dearly, and our whole thing is we want to partner with the district. We want to be their partner, not just their food service contractor, and we want to be an indispensable partner. And Newburg has been that. Like you said, since we've started out, and a lot of these concerns, like I said, this is the first time I'm hearing these, but this is something that we will address, and we'll address swiftly. We'll start by setting up a meeting, and then we'll go from there.
Perfect.
And I'm more than happy to present to you guys on those results, give you an update on those results
That'd be appreciated.
more than any time.
We'll work with Mr. Shaw on that, okay?
Sure,
Okay.
Thank you.
no problem.
Appreciate you
My
coming.
pleasure.
Thanks for being here.
Would you guys like us to leave these documents that kind of line
Yeah,
out
most
the federal
certainly.
Okay, perfect. It lines out the regulations, and then there's this hefty packet that explains the difference in different types of programs that you can have.
You
So,
bet. Thank you.
you're welcome. It's a lot of stuff.
Okay, sure. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Is there any way for a parent, I guess, to reach out to you? I didn't know if you have a card or a
Yeah, sure.
website or anything.
I don't have a card on me right now, but I'd be more than happy just to give you my phone number. Or my email would be great. So it's rmurphy, RMURPHY, at opafood.com. And that's OPAA food.com.
Just curious, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I've heard all kinds of things too.
Okay.
I don't know where the two connect, but
Sure,
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it.
Thank you.
You all have a
Our
great day.
next
Thank you.
action item. Again, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'll let you get back to your,
Buses?
Yes.
Is next.
for buses.
We have finally received a bid on some buses. It's been a while. Lonnie had made contacts and they, first of all, finding one that fit our criteria that we were wanting was difficult, and then once they did, so we finally got the bids on those two buses. One's a brand new one and one's slightly used one. Those, but, you know, both bids are from the same company.
It's interesting.
Mhm.
I didn't even see that. Let me look at that.
So on the used one, see at the bottom it says there's one identical to the specs above with a double luggage door underneath, so I'm assuming that's the same price.
That was my assumption.
That's a nice luxury to have.
I was gonna say, because I know that that's probably pretty nice to have.
Well, especially when it comes to
Sports.
big equipment that you have to
Vans,
carry
stuff like that,
and
yeah.
stuff and make the kids throw their bags on there instead of having them on the bus, you know.
Yeah.
Of course,
Well,
granted, we're
that's-
not as big as other bigger schools that
No, but
that
that
bus
still
is
would be
crowded,
handy
but
to
it
have.
is nice to have.
That's why I was asking if it was the same price and the same bus essentially for the money. I would say if we were
The
going to.
only thing is, I guess I want to be like, you need to write that down. Our claim to fame of getting air conditioning in the gym, I just want one bus with air conditioning. Just one
Did the new
bus.
bus- did the new bus
Because
have
there
air
is
conditioning?
nothing more miserable than riding a school bus when it's 92 degrees in September and you walk out there, you are soaking wet and I mean, you're just, I know that sounds silly. You guys,
No, it's-
but man, just that, and that doesn't mean that bus gets to you, you know, but man, one bus with air conditioning we'd be rock stars around here.
For that one route.
We'd be.
No, it's not for a route, it's a trip bus. I mean, the route, that's just part of the route, but I'm talking about a nice trip
I don't
bus.
think the new one has.
Well, nobody, because it's like
Didn't
another
see air.
$10,000.
I didn't see air on it. Didn't want that.
No, I think it's like 10,000. Well,
I did hear that, I mean, this doesn't affect our bids here, but,
did you say yeah?
the newer
Well, I didn't
models
see the
are
answer.
going to start coming out standard with driver air.
The new station alert has arrived.
For the driver's booth there, which really
That's-
surprised me.
Say
That was,
that's,
you know,
that's just gonna make the bus driver a not very liked person.
I'm gonna sit right behind the bus driver.
Yeah, I know. Everybody wants to go to the Canada.
I know it's a dream, but you know, just,
Yeah.
I guess driving a bus for 33 years, I always thought, boy, how nice it would be one time to have, I mean, my hair, wait, that's not it.
That's and that, you know,
You're well
the
beyond that.
the mileage range seems kinda 25,000 to 29,000. They don't have any closer idea on mileage on that, or?
Well, it's probably still in use.
I was gonna say, or is it still?
They're still using
is it
it.
lease bus?
It's the
And
lead, yeah.
this isn't the only one, you know, there's 3 or 4 of them in the same
Oh.
category, so you got, you're looking,
Just
you're giving
one
you,
of them.
you're giving you
Of
the,
the group.
Yeah, then
So here's a group
you
of
go down and
10.
look at what they have and you pick yours.
and
out of it.
then you get, well, they will bring you,
I'm with you now.
Yeah, I thought you went and looked at it.
no, not anyone that I ever bought.
And
They
I
showed
thought
up.
Lonnie went, I thought
Lonnie,
went and
I
looked at
talked to
it.
Lonnie this afternoon at the ball game, and he made a suggestion too, something we should look at later, is possibly getting a scan tool for these style buses. He said, because every time, I guess, the deaf stuff starts acting up, it shuts the bus down. And he said the new scan tool will actually allow you to go in and reboot that before the bus can be drove again. He he said it's something we could probably look at, because every time we've got to go somewhere, it's like $500 or $600 for them to do it. Huh?
Does it have to be towed?
Or someone's got to come out with their scan tool and do it. So he said it's something we should probably at some point look at.
Does he have pricing?
He said it was about $3,000. He thought a tool would cost.
Yeah.
There's nothing $100 anymore. Though.
No.
You just don't.
So just something that, and he's like, you don't have to obviously get one right now, but he's like, it's something that you guys should probably think about at some point.
And that's if you run out of depth?
That was Lonnie's.
How many times?
Well, sometimes, he said sometimes the gas gauge will, like the gas gauge will
He's had a
fluctuate,
scan, I
and it'll
believe,
shut the
once
bus off.
this year, and the guy comes out and scans it. I know last year we bought, and you gotta remember, I'm not a mechanic, know nothing about it. We did buy a piece of equipment that does some type of scanning. We pay a yearly fee on it. But I don't know that it's the same type of scanning thing that is used for that. Because if Lonnie's saying we need it, then it's gonna be separate from what we have there. But I know of one time
He
this
said,
year
said
that we
it's,
had
he said
somebody
the
out.
one he was talking about was for Bluebird bus.
Okay,
So,
which would, yeah.
I think most of them are. And like I said, it's just something he suggested that we think about.
So this is a purchase that we need to make. We need to buy a bus. We need to buy, I mean, so if we buy this bus, where does that put us for the upcoming year, the next year? Do we have to buy another one? Where are we at on rotation?
No, I don't think we'll need another one. I think I would say, now I'm saying this without talking to Lonnie, but I think within 5 years, you need to be looking at taking your oldest one
Sure.
and moving it out.
So we got a few years
But
before we have to do
I believe we got a
anything?
few years,
How
yeah.
many years has it been since we purchased? Last year.
Last year we bought two.
But I mean, so we had two last year, then it was it 4 years before that, we bought two more?
They were all used though, right?
They were all
Yes,
used.
they're all used. In our fleet now, we don't have anything to get rid of, right? We already got, they're already gone,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, so if we made a purchase, then we'd have one, two,
Respect.
that we would,
We
or we could
could
get rid of if we wanted to.
Okay.
And we're talking about buying just one right now, right?
Just one, yeah.
Just make sure.
I don't have a problem with the used.
I don't.
Lonnie's, when I asked him his recommendation would be to get the 2021 model. But he said, if I can get that 2021 model and that scan tool, that would be really nice. So, he said, I'll go for a used bus if I can get that
Well, we
scan
got
tool.
90 in the budget. So we had 90 in the budget,
Right.
so we could do that.
Yeah.
And that would be in the budget, yeah.
Is the def
It's a brand,
biggest issue?
Yes.
I mean, the def is.
And it's a pain. That's
Yeah.
but you know.
the brand new bus, we did not budget
No,
for.
well,
So,
we don't have the money in our budget for the new bus. It's 125,000 or
Right.
something like that, or close to that. So we'd be over 35,000.
21,000.
And we have to come up with $35,000.
I'll make a motion to buy the used, the 2021, 70, whatever it is.
79,470.
Do we need to buy
I think we do to stay on track.
Maybe Steve, I think we need to.
I just didn't know if they'd roll over for, in case.
Yeah, I'd say while we can, we probably should.
Okay.
What is the balance? Does it say what the balance of the warranty is?
I didn't see it anywhere in there. It just said it's transferable.
Probably
is that down at the bottom?
All right,
Yeah, it
bye.
says balance
It's
of
in that
factory
little
warranty
bitty
will be
writing down
available.
there.
I know, but what is the balance?
Yeah, that's my question.
Maybe a 5-year, that'd be.
So you're gonna be looking at 1 or 2 years on it?
Yeah, I'd say.
Is it goes by year, not mileage? On the
Probably
buses?
both, just like it does on the car.
Would it
But
be-
I don't know the answer. to that.
Something we could ask if there's a, you could buy more warranty for, if it's cheap. I mean, a lot of this stuff, electronic parts, $2,000, you can buy 2 more years warranty for $2,000.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's an option, but we can check.
We have a little wiggle room with our budget amount to be able to come up a little bit, if we need to.
You need a second?
Yeah.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Birdsong, second. Mr. Brookshire to purchase 2021 Newburg bus with an amount of $79,470. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries 7-0. And I think it's a good question to ask of whether we can buy up on warranty or not. I don't know what the answer is, but they'll know.
Then we will
And
have.
then see where we are.
Get bids on a tool.
Yeah, have Lonnie go ahead and get bids on the tool, and we've got a little money in that budget left over to spend on that if we want to.
Steve wants a bid on an air
Yes. Just get a bid.
Let me see how much
Just ask the guy how much.
We don't need to buy it, but we
This
just
says
need a
it's got
bid.
Just say we gotta get on the board and can't hardly stand it, so
Right
can
on it,
you
you're
put a
good.
window unit in the back window?
We've got some.
That's the way to go.
It's got like 40 air conditioners. Each one of those windows comes down.
Yeah. Bobby Henson's giving you a big thumbs up.
I know.
All right.
Most likely.
We better stop that. Goodness. We're ready to move on to our certified salary schedule for 23-24, and as you.
Sorry, no, you go ahead, Mr. Smith.
No, I'm good.
Well, I was just gonna say that was, we tabled that from last month. We still do not have that final approval from the governor on the 13th check, or what we call the 13th check scenario, that based on teacher salary. So my recommendation would be to postpone that or to table that till May until we have that.
I agree.
I really believe it's gonna go through, but.
I do too, but let's be cautious. Let's be smart. Just wait till we get it. Everybody else is doing the same.
Yeah.
Nobody's approving that till they get a signature.
Till that other budget
And
gets
is there a
approved, yeah.
reason why in the world we haven't signed that?
You know,
That makes
the
no
only
sense to
thing
me.
that I could think of is for the final budget, because it's part of that budget.
I get that.
That would be the only, the only thing I could think of why we would wait.
Understand that, but it's been sitting.
It was the same deal last year.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was this huge push and all this talk, and then it just sat there.
And you're thinking, is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen?
I know.
I know.
Well, it's the
So,
last minute. Well, then,
Yes.
you put everybody in a bind.
And the top was all solid on it.
Because there was. Anyway, okay,
Yeah.
table,
yeah,
correct?
yes, yes.
Okay, budget update?
Now, I will say, just going back on that, we had talked about what that would look like if we give our step, not a change to the salary schedule, but to give the step on the current one. And that's about $15,000.
$15.
$15 would be an easy step. It's about $15,000. So that's
That's
about what, that's a
Yeah.
Is that just money,
estimation.
or is that however you figured in retirement,
That's just money. That's just the money for the step. Yes, sir. Yeah.
so around 25,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, which is about.
That's part of life.
What's it about?
Part of life. You gotta be able to buy bread.
Yeah, Brett's house. Okay, budget?
Okay, so just wanted to give you guys some updates. Amy and I went through and cleaned up this year's the budget for this school year. We had talked about that a few months ago about what some of those things would look like. We cleaned up some of those SA accounts and the ones that were no longer active, didn't have anything in them. We removed those. Some of the bigger changes that I want to make you aware of, there were some things where we had some coding issues where it was coded someplace that it shouldn't have been in the budget, and so we corrected those and got it where it was. It wouldn't have been a change in the amount that was budgeted, it just needed to come out of a different fund than what it was. There was a lot of those changes. We moved like what was originally budgeted for supplemental pay. Was $68,000, and so we had revise that to more accurately reflect what we were doing, which is 28,000. So there's some changes there. All in all, those changes in the budget and those edits ended up $25,310 to the good. So that was good to see. And Amy, you are welcome to correct anything that I said that was.
Was he right, was he on?
So.
You did all right.
He did all right,
You
yeah.
did okay. Good, Doctor.
And so I
Do you know
I
where we
wanted
are?
to update, just so the board knew some of those things and where we were at.
I'm glad you said we're 25 to the good, not 25 to
That's
the
better
bad.
than the other way, yes, yes, sir, yes.
Do you know where we are on our incentive budget? If everybody know where we are on that. When does that due into you at the end of when the teachers leave? or
Yes.
Before they leave?
Depending on which part of it is. Some of it we have to have sent to DESI.
Oh, career ladder part.
Yeah, career ladder part. But that will be before they leave as well. Actually, I think you guys have already received your non-career ladder incentive.
Some of the staff incentives have already come in, and the rest of them we're working on this weekend.
I would say 1st of May we will have a real
Maybe you can
good.
know it next month, kind of where we are
Yeah.
according to that, whatever post to our budget.
Are we going to stay with the numbers, be
Yeah.
drastically lower, or?
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah.
You know, the budget at the maximum, which is what you should budget for.
Oh, yeah.
Just curious where we are. Okay.
Sometimes it's a lot lower.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Yeah. And that's just like career ladder, we budgeted for the max that each teacher could
Sure.
receive. And so
Sure.
they may say, I don't want to do 100 hours, I just want to do 50. You know what I mean? And so that's a big difference in money too, but that's possible that they could do that.
Been there, done that.
Both ways.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions on the budget from Mr. Shaw? Any suggestions for anything that he needs to bring? Will we have that next month, or will that be June
What's that?
budget?
For next year? We would like to have that in May. At
We have
least
to
for-
upload that.
Yeah, at least the first reading.
The preliminary.
We have to have it uploaded in June though, so.
Right. June 30, 15,
That's
can't remember which one.
30.
15 or 30.
You guys could go back through it a couple more times and find 50,000, this bus really wouldn't be a.
That wouldn't be a big deal at all.
It'd be a big bucks, Mary Payne, 15.
But they only knew how long it took us to
Once
get
or
that.
twice.
I mean, they could probably find enough there to buy the new one, maybe at least.
Okay. Now, we'll move on to our next action item, which is our May meeting, which is set for May the 18th. Everybody good for that, for you know?
As far as I know.
Amy, that's good?
Yeah, that's fine with me. What time do we want to,
We'll go back to 6:30,
6:30?
a normal time.
Start with open and close to follow if needed.
Everybody good?
Good.
That part? Okay, need a motion to go into executive. Motion, Mr. Brookshire, second, Mr. Shoeshank. Any further discussion? If not, we'll do a roll call. Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Wells?
Yes.
Shoeshank? Mr. Brookshire?
Yes.
Mr. Guffey? Mr. Birdsong?
Yes.
And myself is a yes.
That's 7 then.
That'll be 7. One of these days I might go to Cali. Leave it alone. Okay, Ms. Constance, you can shut it off. Did you?